From Shem to the Savior, the divine thread continues. Join David Paxton for part 2 of The Blessed Line and uncover the prophetic blueprint of your spiritual inheritance, starting now.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Another show of Last Christian, and we're going to have a good time today. We are going to continue the line of Shem, which means name, and then Hashem is the name. So today I think we're going to go full bore into Eber. And why? I don't know. Why are we going to do that, JD?
Because we can.
Because we can. Because no one else does.
Right?
So there's a lot of cool stuff about Eber, and no one knows who Eber is.
I don't have the first clue who Eber is. So this is going to be a complete informational show for me too, along with everybody else. Because now, having said that, something else might trigger somewhere along the line there. But as far as I know, I don't know nothing about him yet.
Yeah, well, we're going to learn a lot. I like the cool, interesting things because if it's weird, it's important, right? Mm-hmm.
Yep, you're right.
Speaking of weird, we're a listener-supported ministry here, and we're really growing. And there's a lot of things that are coming on. We're starting to get some good people to join us in ministry. So, we're not the beggars to say, "Hey, send us $5,000 and then the Lord's going to bless you."
Right. We don't do that.
We're serious people. We have a ministry, and if you want to join in that, then there's several ways to do it. They're right there. You want to tell them about the ways? And you can even send cryptocurrency if you want. I'll give you the link. But anyway, we got cool stuff.
Yeah, you can shop on the site. Now, we don't sell anything, but we do have affiliates. The Conservative Store, Everyday Dose Coffee, Christian Book, and our new one, first time, is Prima, and those are chocolate bars, basically. David can tell you more about that in a minute. But anyway, you can just go to www.lastchristian.net. That's lastchristian.net, and you can make a direct donation to us, and we would be thankful for that and use it for the Lord's ministry. Or you can just shop on one of those affiliate sites, and we get just a touch of what they get. Plus, in a lot of cases, you can get some freebies that you wouldn't get if you just clicked it yourself. So
yeah,
anyway.
I like the everyday dose. They send you cool toys.
Oh yeah,
the Prima is cool. I just found it because we're backing out of seed oils and I'm getting rid of it and going back to the old-fashioned ways. So the short story on that, there's no processed sugars in it. They use organic honey. It's whey protein, so it's good for you. No grains. There's no grains at all in it. It's all 100% grass-fed beef. And they use honey and they use beef tallow for it too. So, all those years they told us the granola bars were good for us, and it turns out that's what caused all my problems.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah, I ate a ton of those. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why do these people do that? And, the long story is they want you sick. So.
Yep. That's the only way they make money. All right, David, tell me about Eber.
Eber! Well, Eber ate these Prima bars all the time. It's interesting because, for a long time we didn't even ask for anything, and then the Lord kind of convicted us and said, "You're actually stealing the blessings from some people." Because when He talks about, remember the parable of the talents? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's like, the one guy, he had 5 talents and got 5 more. Another guy got 2 talents, he got 2 more. And then the guy got 1 talent, he buried it.
Yep.
All right. And he's like, "You suck." Well, something like that. Anyway.
It wasn't quite that bad, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he called him a wicked servant. It was actually probably worse.
He got his point across, and it was pretty pointed. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, not only am I going to kill you, I'm going to give your stuff to this other guy. And he said, you should have at least given it to the bankers.
Yeah.
And when you really look at the whole thing there, what he said is, look, there's some people who don't have ministry abilities. Like, for example, the reason I'm saved is because of an old lady praying in her closet.
Oh, man.
So you can pray and be a real prayer warrior, which is usually the older ladies. But then if Lord gives you some money, but you have no idea what to do with it, then he says, okay, well, you can be a partner in some of these other ministries that do stuff. The problem is, we were so upset. There's so many ministries that take advantage of that. But the Lord's like, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to be able to plant their seeds somewhere. So if God is telling you to, plant your seed here, we can assure you we're going to be using it for godly purposes. Amen. And it will grow 30, 60, and 100-fold. And then, so we just spent, I think, something like another $5,000 from some equipment that we need for, traveling, recording and things like that. Yeah. So it was pretty interesting. So it gets up there, and then the radio costs money to run.
Yes, it does. Yeah, all this equipment, studio, offices. Oh boy, hell yeah.
Then the office, and it's like every day there's something else. So that's why we do that, folks. It's not just we're not like the money hungry guys, but if you certainly are welcome to join in the
mission. It is a mission.
There you go. That's
Shop
the word.
With a purpose. Support the mission.
A porpoise. Shop with the porpoise. Do porpoises shop?
No, they do that on here.
All right.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about Eber today. And so who was Eber? Eber.
He was
so we go to Genesis 10:21, and we'll start there.
Okay, I'm just going to pop in there because I can. And it just says that Eber is the great-grandson of Shem.
Yes.
Okay. I'm with you.
All right. Now, give me the list.
The list. Okay, we got Shem. We got Arphaxad, Shelah, and then Eber.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So they're cool names.
Mm-hmm. I hope I got close with the pronunciations.
Arphaxad, yeah, it is.
Okay.
As close you're going to get in English. I ran across the KJV only people again this week.
Oh, boy. Okay. And I used to be one of those. Be one of those. I'd call up a church, that I was interested in joining. And, I'd ask the pastor right off the top, what kind of Bible do you teach from? And if he said anything other than the King James Version, not New King James now, anything other than the King James Version, they were out. Okay, that was that was my limited knowledge at the time. Speaking on that one.
Yep. Now, don't get me wrong. Love the King James.
Me too.
It's just Old English, but the problem with being a King James only is now you're saying, the 1611 King James, which is not what you read. You read the 1789, and it was translated by another bishop, actually.
Okay.
And it was redone. And not only that, because you can't read, you're not going to read the 1611 version. You're not going to be able to read it. It's as simple as that. That's how old the English is. Plus, it has a few words in there which have changed meaning, and you're not allowed to say on the air anymore, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
There's some words in there that might begin with F that are to have a completely different meaning today.
A completely different meaning. Yeah, there you go.
And so there's not one of the KJV onlys is reading the 1611. They're reading some bishop of the 1789. So, I mean, just start there. Plus, there's a lot of errors and stuff in it. Not like an overwhelming amount, but there's enough to say, you know what? It's English. It's not the original.
That's the key, David. That's the key. People say, well, such and such isn't in the Bible. Well, no, it's not in the English Bible, but if you look back to the original version, it is. It was just translated differently when they made that version. That's basically what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, and then but the modern versions, this part you got to agree with the modern versions are based on what they call the critical texts. And basically, it's texts they found in the garbage and pulled them out and said, oh, these are better. From like the 1800s and such. Nestle's. It was a bunch of agnostic Greek scholars who wanted to change it. So now they're like, oh, we found these and they're older. Well, they're older because they were in the trash. And they buried them there so no one would use them anymore. That doesn't mean they're better.
Yeah.
So a lot of problems with all the so-called modern versions. There is the modern English version, which is TR based, but I'm looking to put something together that is in our vernacular, and that it is based on the Textus Receptus, the received text.
Another version that I'd like to mention, and you can comment on it whether or not it's something people should turn to. We have a mutual friend, Tove Rose, who put together a version of the Bible. He is a Messianic Jew. And David, you even asked him if he named one book properly. I can't remember which one it was, and he said yes. But anyway, he I know that he does have a version out there as well.
Yeah, that's right. Tove, T-O-V, Rose. Yeah, look him up. Yeah. It's actually good. That's not a bad idea. I think I'm going to pick. Why didn't I pick one of those up already? I don't know, but I'm getting that.
Okay.
Because everything's online nowadays. I was like, let me get the hard copy because they're blowing up Damascus today, and who knows how long the internet's going to last.
Right.
So let me get a hard copy of that. All right. So the sons of Shem. So check this out. In Genesis 10, we were looking at Shem and then Arphaxad. And Arphaxad means, since we're going to Eber. Okay. Let's look up the Brown Drivers Briggs Hebrew lexicon. It's dubious. It says identifies with Babylonia.
Ooh,
okay.
Okay.
Northeast Nineveh. Let's see the complete word study. See what they got to say. Just a proper name. So there's really they don't know what it really means.
Oh, okay.
Just Arphaxad.
Okay.
Okay, that's the children of Shem, but he had Salah, not salad.
Okay.
But Salah. Let me see. Come on, computer.
And then Eber comes after that. Yeah.
Shelach, or like shellac.
Okay. Okay.
And it's a post-Diluvian patriarch. Let me see. Again, there's no combination here. A missile of attack, a spear. Okay, so he was the spear.
Okay.
That's interesting. So he's probably some kind of a hunter.
Sounds like, yeah.
And then we get down to the Eber from there. And Eber, that one we know means to cross over. Okay, and so that's why Eber is important, because they're the ones that crossed over. And even after the flood, you think they would have learned their lesson, and Noah and his family are the only ones around, and they're talking about this almighty God and how he destroyed all these Nephilim and stuff, and they still go off the deep end.
Yeah.
With Nimrod and Babylon and all this other garbage.
Well, that goes back to the, over and over again, expecting a different result. That's basically where they were.
And that's when, he became a Gibberim. He became a mighty man in the face of the Lord. Mm-hmm. See, that was one of the things I talked about. That's why I remembered it in the King James. It says he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Mm-hmm. And that's not what it says. It says he became a mighty a hunter of men in defiance in the face of the Lord.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it really says. But they're like, oh, he's a mighty hunter before the Lord. He must have been good. No.
Not necessarily.
He was basically shoving it in God's face.
Right.
Look at me, how big and strong I am. And God's like, yeah, okay. Let's see how that works out for you. So in Eber were born two sons. Now, I'm kind of harping on this stuff too, because the 10, was it 31? Yeah. 31 are the sons of Shem after their families and after their tongues. in their lands and in their nations.
So you're saying he had 31 kids? Is that what you said?
No. That was verse 31.
Oh,
Genesis
okay. I'm
10,
sorry.
31.
Okay, because I'm looking at two names here, and if there was more, I was going to. Okay, all right.
Well, here's the thing: these guys, they did have more than just these kids.
Yeah, I would think
these are the ones that are important.
Yeah, I would think
that's why they're listed. Because Adam, depending on which book you read, had anywhere from like 35 to 50 kids. So.
Yeah, and based on the amount of time that they were alive, that is a very, in my opinion, conservative estimate.
Yeah, I mean, every 2 years you have one, and you're still only 100 years old.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they lived 900. So
yeah.
Yeah. So one of them was named Peleg. Remember, Peleg means to divide.
Yeah. Okay.
So everything was divided in those days.
Mm-hmm.
So the days were divided because the countries were divided. Because here was the problem. They're all. He told them to spread out, right? Hey, spread out and fill the earth.
Right.
So what do? They all
together.
build one city and stay there.
Stayed together.
And it's like, dude, what are you doing? I just told you to spread out.
And if they wouldn't do it voluntarily, then they're going to do it by him. Yeah, he's going to take care of that.
Yeah. Well, by the time we got down to Peleg's generation, he says that's when the land was divided. So a lot of different things happened. Number one, the earth kind of cracked open, and that's where we see Pangea spread apart. So there's that, because the land was divided then. And people argue about this. No, it was the languages. No, it was the people. No, it was the land. No, it was all of them.
It was all of the above. Yeah.
Hello. We're definitely fond of both and. So the land was divided by the literal dividing of the land. So when all these evolutionists say, "Oh, how did kangaroos get to Australia?" You idiot. They were there when the land was all together. And then they separated them, and they didn't live anywhere else. They died off, and they only lived anyway. So the land was divided. The people were divided, and he divided their languages. Okay, because that's what it says in verse 31. The sons of Shem and their families after their tongues, in their lands, after their nations. Okay, there it is. Their families and their language. So families, languages, their land, and their nation is not the land. The nation is their people groups.
Right.
Ethnic groups. So that's where we see what happened to Peleg. Okay. Now, in the midst of all this, since he's separating everybody, he's got to call somebody out to carry on the word, just like he did with Noah. There's always got to be that one, right?
Okay, right.
Like it started with Adam, and then he had to call Seth out. And so it was a Seth line all the way down till we see. And then we had billions of people in the world, and he had to call out the Noah line. All right? So now he's got all this going on, and now from the Noah line, he's going to call out Eber. And those are the ones that cross over. Okay. And that's where we get the term Iberu. Have you heard that before?
Well, I'm just kind of putting it together. Maybe I'm wrong, but would that have something to do with Hebrew? It sounds real close. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Iberu.
Okay.
So it's literally all the descendants of Eber. Okay. But then again, he still fine-tunes it a little later. Okay. And then Joktan was the father of many of the southern Arabian tribes.
Which would be, what region would that be in, David? Southern, you said southern Arabian.
Arabian. Well, Arabian, Arab means mixed.
Yeah.
So that's why I said there's the mixed tribes.
Yeah, that would cover basically everything to the south of Israel then, right?
Arabian
anyway. Okay. I'm just trying to get
Arabian night.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that's really into geography. Having worked in the airlines as long as I did, every time I hear about something, I want to know about. I want to know a little bit about it. So anyway, sorry about that.
Well, that's what Arab means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arab means mixed, so all the people are mixed down there.
Okay.
And even into some of the sons of Abram or Abraham at the time. So Eber is the only great-grandson of Noah mentioned by name in Genesis 10 before the Tower of Babel narrative,
Right.
which means he's important because
Okay.
obviously he had many great-grandsons.
Right. Without a doubt.
Okay. So, so he actually lived. Eber lived 464 years.
Now I'm noticing that the ages begin to decline.
Right.
It's pretty much steady basis here. From the time of Noah, it's not like they drop all the way down to where somebody's out at 75, but it's dropping
Right
down
away.
a little bit. There's incremental decrease in the age of humanity.
There is, and it goes in jumps, if you would.
Okay. All right.
And there's a reason for that, and it
Okay.
goes back to Peleg again.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you look, we had Shem, right? So he's off the boat,
Right.
and he lives about 600 years. He actually lived longer than Abraham too, right? Arphaxad was 400, Shelah was 400 and change, and then Eber was 400 and change.
Okay.
So you got that generation of a few hundred years there where they lived for 400 years, and that was right after the flood.
Yeah.
But then remember what happened to Peleg? The land was divided.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were
So-
talking about death. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Too much sugar. So here we are, right? So we got the flood, and everything is compressed. Remember, the earth was smaller. It's got it was compressed because hell had expanded itself. We get into that a lot on here. So there was a hyperbaric chamber. There was more pressure, and they've definitively proven that a higher atmospheric pressure, your body heals a lot faster and you live longer. They even had one experiment I saw where the guy actually de-aged. he
wow.
got younger. As far as cells and stuff, his telomeres grew. Okay, his telomeres grew when he was they put him down in the ocean for like a long time. And his cells got stronger and the telomeres grew, which means they're younger.
Wow. Okay.
So right after the flood, we still have that bit of a pressure thing, but then hell expanded itself again in the days of Peleg. The land was divided. That's when we see the ring of fire and everything crack open. The earth gets a little bigger. Now it changed the ecosystem again. We had that whole mini ice age thing. All right, that came on. Now we're changing the whole eco-structure again, and we see Peleg only lives 239 years.
Okay. Big drop there.
All right. So now they're doing, and now it's slowly from here gets lower and lower.
Yeah.
Okay. But the bottom line is that's when it happened. And it's clear that and definitive that it happened when the land changed.
Okay.
So it's got everything to do with the hyperbaric chamber atmosphere, with the whole Noah's flood and the firmament coming down, and different things like that. And we actually then we think Abraham lived a long time at 175 years.
Yeah. That's
And
nothing.
he was the lightweight there.
Yeah, that's nothing compared to Noah. Nothing compared to Noah for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Eber was born. Eber had Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, and Abraham. And he lived longer than Abraham. Isn't that wild?
Wow. Yeah, that is.
And Shem lived longer than Abraham. From 9 generations down, he had Abraham, Shem, and his 9th great grandson, and he outlived him.
Oh man, that had to have
That's
been
wild, right?
For them. That had to have been a weird deal.
Yeah.
Like
why
why are
these
we
people
being
dying?
cursed, or what are we doing wrong, or something? I don't get
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, imagine that. That it just crazy. So
it does
Shem
say-
outlived Abraham.
It does say here in my notes that I got, it says that Eber was the only great grandson that Noah mentioned by name in Genesis 10, before the Tower of Babel narrative, which emphasizes his importance, and that's true. If you're mentioned by name in the in the Bible, you better pay attention somewhere. There's a reason for that name being there. Is all I'm saying.
Yep, because this is the one that crossed over. In other words, here is the line. All right, now we're dividing up the lands. You got Mount Hermon. You got all the principalities and powers. He's dividing everything up. Okay, everyone, we're dividing this. But God said, this is my land, and I'm going to go down the line of Eber. So he's going to cross over. Okay. And it wasn't until we get to, 2000 Anno Mundi. I think Abraham was born in 1948 Anno Mundi, which is the same time as Israel being born. It's really wild.
Just a coincidence there.
Yeah. So, and he was 52 when he was called out, which started the age of the law. There was the age of chaos, and then the age of the law, and then now 2,000 years after that, the age of grace, and now we're going into the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Any minute now. Can't wait.
Me too.
So the Hebrew root is abar, which means to cross over or to pass through. So it literally means one who crosses over.
Okay.
And the name later will be tied to a spiritual identity, not just a geographical movement, but a covenantal separation.
Okay.
One from beyond the river. So we got Ivri. So we got the first mention of Hebrew, Eberi. So Eberu, Eberi. So all the words in the letters in the Hebrew are the same. They just kind of pronounce them differently in the English.
Okay.
One from beyond the river. So now when they're on this side, the Eber is one who crosses over, but the Eberi is the one who came from the other side.
Okay.
All right. So you see the etymology of the word there is pretty cool. And then let me see here. Oh, you're going to have to take us out of here.
Okay.
My timer's acting
I'm going to take us out with a question that you can answer in the second half, and that is in Genesis 14:13. It says, "And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew," and I have no idea what that means. So I'm sure there's a few people out there after hearing what I just said that have no idea what that means, but you do. So we'll start the second half with that answer. But until then, unless, the rapture could happen at any time, folks. So if you haven't accepted Christ yet, you might want to do that right now just to be sure. And if the rapture does happen, we will see you there. Otherwise, stick with us for a very short break, and we'll be back with the second half of Last Christian, again, after a very short break.
In a world where two kingdoms collide, understanding is key. Join us every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central for the C2K Report with hosts Rick Hidalgo and Randy Conway. Discover how to establish your house as an embassy of Christ and navigate the clash of two kingdoms. Learn practical steps towards self-governance, from authentication to setting up your house, and access a wealth of resources in our document library at c2kreport.com. Empower yourself with knowledge and take control of your spiritual and earthly journey. And don't forget to check out shopyourfarm.com, a virtual farmers market connecting you with quality, faith-based products and services. For more information about the C2K Report, be sure to visit c2kreport.com and shopyourfarm.com.
Break free from fear, pain, and spiritual confusion. Step into total freedom with Rena Lynn, author, speaker, and host of the bold new radio show airing Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central on revelationradio.net. Rena Lynn brings you real talk on real issues, narcissistic abuse, spiritual warfare, and the emotional battles we all face. With biblical insight and raw honesty, she helps you confront darkness and step into healing. Explore her gripping preparation for the End Book series, including the latest release, Intriguing Truth, a powerful journey of faith, trauma, and redemption. Dive into her books, sign up for the newsletter, and discover upcoming challenges designed to help you walk the walk, take spiritual authority, and find your ministry. Join the movement. Find your voice. Experience total freedom with Rena Lynn, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central on revelationradio.net.
KRRB Grand Saline, Canton, Mineola, Texas.
Are you looking for a meaningful way to support Christian values in a world that's turning further from truth? The Last Christian Radio Show is 100% listener supported. Every broadcast, every platform, every message, we rely on you to keep the mission going. You can donate directly at lastchristian.net. Every gift matters, no matter the size. Or, here's the best part. You can help just by purchasing the everyday products you already use from our trusted partners. The Conservative Store, Everyday Dose Coffee, Prima Ancestral Protein Bars, and Christian Book, each offering quality products you'll love. And every purchase through our links helps fuel this ministry. Visit lastchristian.net today to stand with us, pray with us, and support the mission.
And we are back, and I know you guys are chomping at the bit, trying to find out what in the world JD was talking about when we left.
I'm trying to figure out what I was talking about. Yeah, because I looked at this, David, and the very this is Genesis 14:13. Okay, and it says, "And there came one that had escaped, and told Abram the Hebrew." Now, my initial 100% guaranteed wrong answer is that he escaped the flood. That's totally impossible. I know that, but that's what ran through my mind. So exactly what did this guy escape from?
That's a pretty easy part. The slime pits.
From the what?
The slime pits.
The slime pits. Okay, is that in earlier? 10. Is that earlier verses? Because I don't have that with me here.
Yeah, in verse 10 it says, "And the vale of Siddim was full of slime pits.
Okay.
And the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain."
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't have you didn't include the full verse there, so I only had that one verse.
That sounds great. I love that.
That was
word,
a setup. That's what that was. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it was. It reminds me of Washington D.C. So that's a slime pits. That's actually like the tar pits that we know today.
Yeah.
That's what the slime pits back then. They had all that.
Okay.
Back then, and they used it for pitch. There's reason to believe that that's what they used on Noah's Ark. And just different things. They had them all over the place. They just called it something different. We've actually gone backwards in technology. People don't realize that.
Well, now
I want to look into this. Everyone talks about Tartaria. It's like, what? What? So
it also, though, David talks about that he told Abram the Hebrew. Now, this is the first time. Isn't this the first mention of direct mention of it?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Good.
And the King James has it capitalized.
Okay.
But it's more of like an adjective here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's look it up in the Hebrew, and we'll actually parse that out.
Okay.
But it's interesting. We're going to find out all of the above. Right. Interlinear Bible. Here we go. I came to the Hebrew, and let me see. Where did it go?
Is this ivory thing, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ivry, which is like of that. No, actually, check it out.
Okay.
Incorrect. It's actually it isn't actually a proper noun. Huh? How about that?
Huh? Okay.
So, I stand or sit here corrected. Because I thought it meant like he was the Jewish guy. No, but it's literally he was one of Aber.
Okay. Yeah, the thing I've got here is Ivor, IVRI. Okay.
Yeah. Remember that was the one who was called out. So
Yeah, and it says
basically,
the one beyond the river is what I've got here.
the one who was called out. Remember Eberu, and then so Eberu in the English or Hebrew is Eber. This is the guy we're talking about, and it's Evri.
Okay.
So because of the way the Hebrew letters work, they kind of sound different. So we use different letters in the English.
Okay.
But it's the one. It's so Eber is the one who crosses over, and Eberu is the one who already did cross over.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
In Hebrew-ish, and Hebrews they start their sentences with "and" a lot.
Oh, okay.
So there's that.
Okay.
And there came from these places. So yeah, so there's one to escape, but let's back up a little bit. And this is really cool because this ties into generational contracts as well.
Okay.
Remember there was a big old war going on. We start in Genesis 14 in the beginning. There's a Chedorlaomer, and then in the 14th year of Chedorlaomer, he smote the Rephaims, Ashtaroth, Karnan, the Zuzims, and Ham, and Amims. No megabytes and gigabytes in this one, but these were the ims and the ems. Okay. And then there was the made war with Bera, the king of Sodom, and Bishri. So they're all fighting each other, and Lot's stuck in the middle of this. All right. So this guy comes out basically, and he tells Abram, he's like, they're all having a fight over there, and your nephew's like stuck. So there's that. And so in Vale of Siddim was full of slime pits. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they that remained fled to the mountain. Verse 11, and they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went away. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. So Lot's like, he's ticked now. I mean, he's stolen. Abram's ticked. Man, give me my nephew back. And there came one that had escaped, and he told Abram the Hebrew that they took Lot.
Okay.
All right, you with me?
Yep, I'm with you so far.
So he took all this stuff, and he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and the brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram. So these were his buddies.
Okay.
And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, or Lot, he armed his trained servant. Remember that story?
No.
318 trained servants.
I do not remember the story on that one.
Okay, yeah, this is a big one. Everyone talks about this story, but they don't talk about the slime pits and the guy that came out and all his buddies.
Okay.
And the best part, which is about to come. So when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan.
So he had 318 people working for him. And we're talking about
here's the thing.
male only, right?
Not only were these trained army people,
fighters.
there was 318 of them, and they were all born in his house. This dude had a lot of money.
Yes.
And a lot of servants.
Yeah.
So this is just them. Imagine how many are girls and how many weren't.
Yeah, that's
servants.
what I was trying to say. Is that because the Bible, correct me if I'm wrong, David, but they only counted men when they came up with these numbers. That continues throughout the entire Bible, really.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it always says, it adds a caveat, plus women and children.
Yeah. There you go.
So, but he had 318 out of all his people that were the trained guards.
Yeah, they were like.
So he had a bunch of stuff. And why would you need trained guards if you didn't have a whole bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I can imagine they were probably better than Navy SEALs.
Oh yeah. And he had to take care of them. So they all got a full-time salary. They're all taken care of. He's like, the dude had some money. Okay. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them and pursued them to Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. So that's what's going on over there. I mean, we see that right now. In the last couple of days, we see Damascus being pummeled. And and Abram started the pummeling back then.
It's been going on since Genesis. Unbelievable.
Yep. And so there they are. And he brought back all the goods. So Abram goes up and he's saying, so here he's going against these 5 kings. And he's like, let me take my boys. Let me go over there. Sneaks in, beats the crap out of him in the middle of the night, takes all the stuff back, right? And then takes more stuff and says, I'll take your stuff too. And he also brought back again his brother Lot and his goods, and the women also, and the people. That was some event. And he's not a nation yet.
Yeah.
So this is just remarkable. So check this out. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, or Chedorlaomer. It depends on whatever you say. Yeah, let's look it up in the Hebrew.
I just like the way you said slaughter.
Chedorlaomer.
I'm sorry?
Chedorlaomer.
Okay.
Chedorlaomer. Okay, Persian king.
Okay.
So here's this Persian dude. All right, he's just one of the sons of Seth, of Japheth. Excuse me. And with him in the valley of Sheva, which is the king's dale. So here's the king of Sodom. Remember? So he comes out. Now check this out. This is so cool because when you look at this again from a covenant point of view, people don't ever looked at this. And I don't know why. So this guy's Bera, and he's the king of Sodom. Now, Sodom's not really the best place in the world, right?
No, it's not. I wouldn't have wanted to be there.
Okay, it's got all the worldly stuff. Okay, we don't know. Oh, what verse was it? And brought back the goods. And, there we go. Okay, so Bera, the king of Sodom, went out to meet him. So here is essentially the world coming out to meet Abram.
Okay.
So Abram has a choice. And of the kings that were with him, so he returned from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him in the valley of Sheva and the king's dale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine. And he was the priest of the Most High God. That's interesting.
Yep. Okay, we're moving along.
Okay, so how come when you hear these sermons et al. About Melchizedek, you don't hear about the king of Sodom and what he offered them at the same time? They're all like, oh, it's Melchizedek, and he offered them the bread and the wine. And this and that.
My only guess on that, and it's strictly a guess, is because Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed, that they don't see the significance. They don't see the significance or reason to mention it. That's just a guess. Now, I could be 100% wrong.
Yeah. So check out this whole picture.
Okay.
Here it is. Abram now faces this big thing. I don't know. We got into Abram because that's where we're going eventually, but we'll back up into Eber again soon. But you brought us here, so that means this is where we needed to go.
Right.
So Melchizedek is the king of righteousness. So we got the king of the world versus the king of righteousness, and they both approach Abram. All right? Okay. And the king, and it says, and he blessed it. So Melchizedek, king of Salem, so king of peace, right?
Okay.
The king of righteousness, of peace, brought forth bread and wine. What's that for? Bread and wine was always a contract.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's make a deal, and then we'll eat over it.
Okay. I just thought it was a gift.
That's why we. Yeah. Well, it's the Last Supper. Last Supper is the same thing, the bread and the wine.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. All right.
Okay. Same thing. Good. It's a contract. The Last Supper was a contract. Hey, I pay for your sins. Let's make a deal. Okay. And that was even deeper, the wedding contract. As soon as you drank that wine, you're accepting the contract.
Right.
Okay, so you are required to meet the terms and conditions of that contract. So don't take communion if you don't mean it, because you've got some problem. And he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth." Ooh. So here comes Melchizedek, the priest of the Most High God. Well, what does that mean, the Most High? Well, remember, they divided up the land, all the principalities and powers, and they all had their territories, but this one was the Most High. This was the one who ruled over everything.
Everything, okay.
Okay, and he ruled over Jerusalem, which is why you don't mess with Israel these days. People call you, oh, Zionists, oh, Israel, they accept gays and they do this. That's not the point. The point is the Most High God lives there, and he said those people are going to be my people. Okay? Yeah, we know they suck. They've always sucked. Okay? But you got to pray for them that they don't suck anymore. Simple as that. Just like you prayed for your mother and your father and your sister and your uncle and yourself, and they prayed for you because you suck. Same thing.
Right?
So... But that's his land. That's his spot. He is the Most High God. That's his territory. Jerusalem is mine, he says. Don't touch it. Don't divide it. And so that's going to be a problem for them. He's the Most High God. He's the one that makes the rules. In fact, he's even the creator. So he has the role of creator, but he also has the role of he's above all these other gods. And blessed be the Most High God, in verse 20, which hath delivered thine enemies into thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all. So here comes the king of Sodom. And the king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the persons and take the goods to thyself." So now he comes with a false contract. He's like, hey, instead of doing that, why don't we make this deal? Right?
Okay.
And people don't think about that. He had two contracts laid out before him.
Yeah.
When the Bible says a double-minded man is unstable and all this is what he's talking about. How long will you waver between two opinions? Okay. The guy that Jesus healed his son, he said, "Lord, I believe, help thou my unbelief." Two different contracts. That's called a dichotomy. That's why you need to repent. You need to rescind your signature off of one of these and go full. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength. Okay? Everything. Don't be wavering between two opinions. Right. Okay? You're unstable. You'll be blown away like the wind. He had that opportunity right here. Abram said to the king of Sodom, "I have lifted up mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth." In other words, stick it.
Now,
we ain't doing it.
Let me back up here for just a second and just, I want to make sure of something. I mean, yes, you got the Most High God telling this, and that's one option. And the other option appeared to me to be a monetary one. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but in other words, I can give you more of things right now, but he's smart enough to know that's not a good deal. Am I going down the right path here?
So he knows I'm going to give my 10% to the Most High God. Okay. I gave tithes of all, and here comes Sodom and saying, "Hey, listen, I'll give you all sorts of stuff." Yeah. In other words, instead of you losing 10%, I'm going to give you all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So in verse 23, but Abram's smart, and he said to the king of Sodom, "No, I lift up my hand to the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take a thread, even a shoelace from you."
Okay. Yeah.
"Unless you say, I have made Abram rich."
There you go.
And that's all tied together. Now, we've heard sermons on both sides of this. It's all one event.
Yeah.
Melchizedek comes, and he decides to give 10% to Melchizedek, the king of righteousness, as opposed to take anything, not even a shoelace, from the world.
Yeah.
Unless you say I've made him rich. Okay?
Yeah.
And then he goes on, just what the men ate, they ate, and the portion which the men and women, then they ate, let them take their portion of what they ate. That's it. And because they ate it already.
Mm-hmm.
They said, no, we're done.
Okay.
So that's real important there. Yeah. So a guy came, hey, listen, your nephew Lot, they took him. So he goes, beats up 5 kings, takes all his stuff. Now this is again another picture of what's happening. Here comes the Messiah figure, Abraham, and he's coming to, and he beats up all the other worlds, if you would, and then gives the 10% to the Most High God, and then he's offered his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, I'll give you a ton of money. I'll make you rich. You know, you'll be on the charts. 12 weeks straight. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you'll be in the biggest movies, and you can be world famous. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah. He was smart enough to. Yeah, he was smart enough to turn that one down. Okay.
Yeah, so that's eventually what happens to Abraham. So let's back up a little bit. So that's the Hebrew there. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Abraham, the Eberu, the one who crossed over. So what does that mean? Well, he's the one who crossed over. Here's a demonstration of it. He crossed over, meaning now he's serving the Most High God, wants nothing to do with the world, and that's the crossover.
Yeah.
From the term, he is the Hebrew, literally one from beyond the river.
Okay.
So that's the significance of actually being a Hebrew.
Okay.
Is separation. The Hebrews are called out from paganism. And if you read the book of Jubilees, that's basically what it's all about. Okay. So the Jews were called out, and we see that all through the Bible. Yeah, they're called, and this happened, and this happened. It's a history book, and we got all this cool stuff that goes on. But Jubilees continually says, this is why you were called out. Do this and this and this. This is why I called you to show the world what I'm talking about. Called out on purpose from that paganism. And so they have a different origin, and they have a different role than what we call the ecclesia. The ecclesia is the bride of Christ.
Right.
Okay. And the Hebrews were supposed to be an example of what righteousness looked like. They didn't do a very good job.
Boy, they blew that. They missed the mark on that.
Yeah. But so did we all. So
yeah, we all failed. Yeah.
But then that's why Jesus came, to say, okay, this is why I call them out, to show you that it's impossible for you to be perfect, especially after you sinned and you had that contract that you got of sin and death. It's impossible. So I have to pay for it for you. But it had to come from the people who he wanted to be the demonstration, because that's who he was called to demonstrate it. Yeah. So now we got the ultimate Jew, the perfect one, called out. He became a man, became the Jew who was supposed to be that representative, and he took in all that stuff and said, I'll be that perfection. And that's why, the salvation is of the Jews.
Yeah.
So their pilgrimage is different. It's rooted in a faith journey, not in land or politics. So when we see their pilgrimage is different than that of the church, and they're still facing it today.
Yes.
Like if you're in the ecclesia, you can be anywhere in the world,
including Israel.
If you're a Jew, you got a desire to go back to Israel. Okay, more whether it's in his lifetime or when he returns. Oh, we'll be next year in Jerusalem. They say it. All of them, every last one of them, say that every year.
Yeah,
next year in Jerusalem. Okay,
and I wonder how many
contrast. Huh?
I wonder how many mean it. Is it just like saying oh, Happy New Year, or is it is it sincere?
Yeah, I mean it's just same. When I say God bless you when you sneeze, do you mean it?
Yeah. There you go.
It's probably the same. But the point is, it started somewhere, and some people mean it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a remnant.
Yeah.
So, in contrast with Babel, which is the world, and it's everyone knows the C2K report. Listen to them on the station. Talks about Babylon, and that's just the world government. We would consider Sodom, bear of Sodom. What was his name? Bury, the king of Sodom. We would consider him Babylon. The United States government's Babylon, Canadian government Babylon. I mean, all the governments of the world, we just blanket call them Babylon because that's what it is.
Right.
As opposed to God's kingdom. And that's what Eber's role in preserving the true God. So at Babel, mankind united in rebellion. Remember that part?
Run that one by me one more time.
And at Babel,
okay,
all of mankind united in rebellion.
Yes.
Let us build a tower like unto the heavens.
Like unto the heavens, right. Okay.
But Eber was called out. His line preserved monotheism. And they did not join the rebellion. Okay? And he's the ancestor of Peleg, as we know, and that's where the line continues all the way down to David, and then the one who'll sit on the throne of David for eternity. And that would be our wonderful Messiah.
Yeah. Now, Jesus could have come back at any time. I mean, he could have come back to redeem as he did at any time. And so the question I have is, how come he didn't do it then? And what goes through my mind is he had to, I hate to say this, I think God wanted to demonstrate just how bad the earth could be. And so he had to endure such horrors that nobody would face that by choice. And had he come back then, now all of this is supposition. I got nothing to back any of this up. But if he was to come back then, he wouldn't have gone through all that. They would have just, maybe they might have killed him, but I don't think they would have crucified him. Like I said, I got nothing to back that up. And if they didn't,
then we got a problem.
Yeah, I got nothing to back that up at all. That's just supposition. I'd like your opinion, though. What do you think?
Yeah, well, let's look at the whole contract point of view.
Okay.
Is he a just God?
Yes.
So would it be fair if he just changed the rules midstream because you thought it was a good idea?
No.
Okay. So when he said, the day you eat of that fruit, you shall surely die, do you think he should just change his mind on that because, we ate it?
No.
Okay. Because he's a just God.
Mm-hmm.
So since he's a just God, we have to say that he's going to continue to act in righteousness and truth. Mm-hmm. So somebody's got to pay for that.
Yeah. Okay. So and now I'm going to jump in. That means that he would. There was a plan initially, even before the creation of the world. There was a plan in place, and it had to run out exactly the way that he put it together. Correct?
Yep. Okay. So we have the wages of sin is death. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that has to play out because that was the contract.
Right.
It was written. That's what it was. He gave us dominion over the earth. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now we have basically dominion over the earth. We rule and reign. So he had to become a man in order to win back that contract.
Right.
In order to pay off all of your debts. All right. If he did not do that, he would not be a just God. People say, oh, well, why don't you just destroy Satan? Because just like you said, it has to play out.
Right.
You have to play it out because he's a just God. Okay. So that's where we stand. And we're running out of time. So before the world runs out of time, or you individually, this is how you get saved. Listen, you messed up. You messed up the original contract. You got to pay the sin debt. Okay. But if you admit that you're a sinner and you say, yes, I sinned, therefore I need to pay for this. And then you believe in your heart that Jesus paid for it instead, and you say, I will accept that. And you confess that, okay, I accept that Jesus paid for this for me. Now you can go live in his house.
Amen.
Because now he exchanged that. Now his righteousness becomes yours. I will talk more about that on the second show, but Lord willing, we'll see you guys next time. You have a blessed day.
Looking for a simple way to support the Last Christian Radio Show without spending a single extra dime? Just visit www.lastchristian.net and check out our trusted partners, The Conservative Store, where your values match your purchases. Everyday Dose Coffee, for better energy, sharper focus, and gut-friendly ingredients. Christian Book, your source for Bibles, devotionals, and faith-based gifts. Whether you're grabbing your morning coffee, shopping for patriotic gear, or adding to your Christian library, you're not just buying great products. You're helping us spread the gospel worldwide. And here's the best part. You're going to buy this stuff anyway. Why not shop with a purpose and support a ministry that's boldly sharing God's truth? Visit www.lastchristian.net today and click the links that make a difference.